All right, we will call the October 21st Park Board to order. Can we have a roll call, please?
Barry,
Here.
Steve,
Here.
Brad,
Here.
Corey,
Here.
Chris,
Here.
Shanda.
All right, we have a quorum. We'll proceed. Item B, approval of minutes. I'll entertain a motion for September 16th. Whenever you're ready.
Move to approve. I second.
Moved and seconded to approve the minutes of September 16th meeting. Is there any discussion or addition, deletions? Discussion. Roll call vote, please.
Barry,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Brad,
Yes.
Corey,
Yes.
Bo,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Shanda.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. Item C, monthly finances.
Finances are attached in your packet. If you have any questions, I'll certainly can entertain them. Otherwise, finances are as presented.
I would move to approve that financial report. Second.
Moved and seconded approved finances. Any discussion? Discussion. Roll call, please.
Steve,
Yes.
Brad,
Yes.
Corey,
Yes.
Bo,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Shanda,
Yes.
Barry.
Yes.
Motion passes. Item D, new business equipment purchase from Williams County Highway.
Dennis Nelson approached me last week or the week before, I guess, and talked about a loader. County Highway bought a new loader. They have 3. They always have 3. Well, right now they have 4. They, normal standard operating procedure would be that they would advertise it and then advertise it for public auction. But Dennis talked to me and said, it's an older piece of equipment, but it's a nice piece of equipment, and it's got all the attachments we would need. Parks does have a loader, kind of. We have a loader at Blacktail Dam. It's Kelly Everson. I don't if he donated it. If I don't know if we own it. Do we own it? I know we insure it. And it's awesome. It's a really nice machine. The snow blower is really nice. It's never been used other than to test it, but it's a nice piece of equipment. But that being said, I don't know if we're supposed to take that away from Blacktail, move it from there. Never talked to Kelly about that. When I first started, and I have a little different relationship with Don Agee as opposed to what I had with Mike Herring. Like with Mike was pretty controlling about what went on up there, and anytime we used that loader, I'd have to call Mike, and I wouldn't have to ask for permission, but I'd have to give him a heads up. And Don and I have a different relationship, and Don and Carter, more importantly, have a different relationship because he's the one that's usually operating it. So that loader works really well at Blacktail. I don't know if it's really makes any sense for us to ever move it out of Blacktail. I don't know if we use it enough somewhere else to move it away from Blacktail. But on the other part of the county, Epping and Coteray and Little Egypt are closer together than everything else, right? McGregor's off to the east and Blacktail's to the northwest, and all 3 of those are a little bit closer. And if it made sense for the parks to have that, and it's something we wanted to do, I would move that down to those parks down there and make it usable there, at least to start with. Would be helpful with snow removal, especially Little Egypt, with our ice landing. But I don't know what we want to do. Talking to Dennis, he thought, if we auctioned it, we might get 45 or 50, between 45 and 55,000. That's what he'd hope for. But you never know in a public auction. I did visit with Barry a little bit about it. He knows quite a bit, and Barry's kind of opinion was it's a nice piece of equipment. It is older. It runs great. You never know when it's gonna start knocking and banging, and we're gonna have issues. I don't have a super strong opinion on this. Like, I'm not gonna feel really bad and feel you guys aren't on the same side as me if we say, I don't know. Um, but it does make sense to me if it's a nice piece of equipment and county highway doesn't need it every day or all the time. If we think that value wise it's good for the parks to get it, then I would be in support of that, and I would find a use for it, and we'd use it. It would be nice to have a bigger piece of equipment down in that area. We run into things where we could use it. But I don't know. I definitely entertain any questions or opinions or thoughts. This is kind of more of a discussion than anything.
The loader out at Blacktail, if I recall, it's the main snow removal for the winter months,
Correct.
and it's driven by volunteers for the most part.
Well, about Carter does it too, but yes, volunteers as well. It's that. Yep, we have a list of volunteers that that are official volunteers of the county, and they use it.
Does Kelly maintain it?
Nope, we pay to maintain it. Kelly keeps an eye on it. I mean, right? Kelly's still involved, and Kelly will tell me again. Mike used to do that a lot, and since Mike's passed, Kelly has kind of been more like, hey, it's time to maintain this. And also Carter has just taken ownership of that, and Carter knows too. So the county, part of our lease agreement with the association is we pay to maintain that equipment, even though the volunteers use it. So like I said, I don't know that, I mean, I'm sure that if it was a once in a while thing, a one-time thing, that I don't think the association or Kelly would be too upset if we moved it off Blacktail, but I don't think that's going to be a regular thing. I don't think that's the intention.
Well, I would say the only way you would dare do that is if you know it's not going to snow.
Right. Well,
if it snows and there's no loader sitting there.
Right.
I don't want to take those phone calls, and they mostly have my number. So,
well, I was thinking more along the lines if we moved it not snow removal time, right? Like if we needed to lift something heavy or do some other work with it. But yeah, no, like I said,
if you said it has attachments, what is that? What attachments does this one
comes
have?
with the one that
Dennis has?
Dennis told me it has a blade, it has a bucket, it has a blower. I thought there was one other thing too.
And my opinion was that, the county highway is going to get rid of it. You're going to take it out to, auction. You never know what you're going to get. And I know they could make good use of it. And it is it's a good machine, but it's not new. So, you never know.
We're putting all these monies into the parks. It seems prudent to have the equipment to maintain our parks.
Right.
And if nothing else, after a year of use, you don't use it, then you can put it up for auction. But if we have budgeted monies, that'd be
right. And as far as the value of it, I'm kind of mixed feelings about that, because if we charge, I mean, it's taking money out of your front pocket and putting it in your back pocket. I don't see the benefit in that, but that's just my 2 cents.
Do we have room for 2 of them out there to store?
I wouldn't leave it out there.
Blacktail doesn't get 2. That's not why we're buying
Like I said,
another one, Brad.
I'd keep it in one of those.
I don't know what
parks.
you're missing here.
We have
bud.
another building.
We don't have a building to put it in.
Well, that's what I was wondering.
No,
And
no.
then, do we have something to haul it with?
Yes.
Except we do. We have a building in Ray.
Yep.
We have a building here in town. I mean, there is places to put it,
Yeah.
and we also have county highway that would still have room
And
for it.
yeah, the building
So-
in Ray would make a lot of sense.
That's the first one I thought of, and
Yeah.
it would fit just fine. And then if Dennis is in a bind up there, there's always a loader sitting there. So
Right.
I kind of agree with you, Barry. It doesn't make sense to take money out of one pocket and put in another.
Other than whatever finance has to do with budgets and insurance and things.
That's Christie's problem.
Yep. I guess the only other thing is, maybe moving forward, is this more of a county commission issue, since it's their piece of equipment really, and not the park boards right now. Yep. So,
I suppose Dennis would have to make a request to the commission to transfer or whatever to park board, and then we'll go from there. But I guess as the park board, are you all comfortable with him pursuing that? I mean, to me, you start talking about bucket, blade, blower, all that stuff. That's kind of it comes with all the stuff you're gonna need. So,
Yep.
Any thoughts or objections?
I'd support it.
All
Okay,
right.
I'll talk to Dennis and make sure it's on the agenda for the next county commission meeting.
Especially if you have ice fishing derby or something, you need to clear roads at those other parks. That would be handy.
Yep, and not just for the derby, just for ice fishing. Like I said, Little Egypt, that ice access gets used a ton, and we have to keep it open, the road open to get there. So
Okay. Nothing further. I guess we'll move to item E, non-motorized trails at Blacktail.
The trails at Blacktail are outstanding. They look nice. They're awesome to walk on. Everything, they're really nice. We have had one issue so far with that we know of, with some people running around on ATVs and golf carts, kind of on those trails. Figured out who it was. Talked to the parents with some kids. Parents took care of it. I feel pretty good about that. I've also, as of right now, Carter and I have identified places where those ATVs access and would easily go and get on the trails. We're starting to put up barriers, whether that's some big rocks or small sections of fence or whatever, to keep people from going on those trails with motorized vehicles. But the reality is, like, right now it's not that hard. There aren't a lot of people out there. It's going to be more difficult next summer to keep people from, even if they don't drive just along them, just some places just even crossing them, right, and tearing them up. I would like to with your approval, start identifying areas, sections of the property at Blacktail where it's non-motorized use only. I'd like to purchase quite a few signs. I'm guessing 30 or 40, and post them, and maybe not put all of them up all right away, but have them so we can start posting them and say non-motorized use. Like I said, I'm not trying to put up 6-foot chain link fence all over the place and keep people out that way. I want it to look nice. But I want to keep our trails nice. And so I'd ask permission from the board to identify areas around the trail and make that trail non-motorized trail only. And like I said, and purchase some signs and move forward with that. I think there will be, like I said, there's some areas I'd like to continue in the park to put up some of that split rail fence. I think that looks nice. I think we'd be consistent around the park, and we have other areas for sure we need to put it up, but maybe even other areas to kind of keep the people off those trails. Like I said, I'm not trying to lock everyone out. I'm just trying to divert them, I guess.
Jeremy, I appreciate your conscientious stewardship that way. Thank you.
Yeah. So as long as and I don't know if I need a motion or anything like that to do that. I mean, it's
Part of our original agreement.
yeah.
I would think it'd just be part of the process of remodeling Blacktail.
Yep. So, and right, because we're going to put up signage for a lot of other things too, right? New trails, trail map, all that. So as long as no one has any objections, that's the direction we're going to continue to move towards.
On the reservation site, can we post a little blurb on trails and so on, and what they're dedicated for and so on?
Yep.
Okay.
Actually, yep. And on the site, and also we have the ability, like, so when you make a reservation, you'll automatically get an email, and we can include that in the email as well. We do a couple different things depending on what's going on where we've done that, but especially with the park with our park opening, we'll have a nice little thing about new amenities and that, and we can specifically put out, hey, yeah, you keep your dirt bikes off the trail.
And with that in mind, does it leave pretty much only roads for dirt bikes to run on?
I mean, eventually that's what I would like to see. I don't make all these decisions, but
Therefore, they have to be of age.
yes. I mean, in my mind, I mean, I don't know, enforcement's gonna be tough. We can't expect the sheriff's department to be out there watching kids on dirt bikes. I mean, not all the time. I mean, they're busy. They got a lot to do. And they're great the way it is. They drive through our parks so much. They really do. The sheriff's department makes it a point to go through our parks, but they can't be sitting there patrolling, especially when we need them as busy weekends. They're already probably short staffed at that time. But I mean,
So, I mean, might be overkill, but in some of these places where you hang signs, I mean, is it at all possible to hang a camera? I mean, even if there's a handful of trail cameras, or, I mean, even you could put it like somehow a link to the website. It's like, check out the trail cams,
Oh yeah.
look at the conditions. But if some knucklehead happens to squeal by with a four-wheeler, it's like, hey, dude, we know who you are. But I think this is where we need to lean on the association out there to help police and watch
situation.
and check.
And I've thought about that many times. It's almost one of those things. Is just as a whole to watch things and everybody to be educated who has cabins out there, what their children, grandchildren, whatever it may be, or adults even know what they can and can't do, because it's going to be a change.
Yep.
And you know, no matter what, you live in, many of us live in the country, so our children and grandchildren already run on roads. I think the other, you have that probably 30% with four-wheelers and ATVs side by sides, and then you have the others with golf carts. And that's going to have to be a little bit, I don't know how enforced we want to make it, because it is kind of a freewheeling situation out there, and it's been okay.
But we had it okay.
Says the mayor.
It's been, I would say, okay. Just okay.
If anything, when you say police, the situation too is possibly the sheriff department may want to sit down with Blacktail Association or certain members to assist in a different capacity.
But we also have to be very cognizant of, be careful what you ask for, because I actually had somebody pull up to my camper and say, we got to get these four-wheelers and side-by-sides off the roads. And he was sitting in a side-by-side. Well, but not mine. Right. Mine's fine. It's the other ones. So, I mean, if it's, because they didn't want him on the road, but he was driving a side-by-side at the time, which, by the way, is a licensed vehicle. I mean, I have
exactly.
that have license plates, lights, blinkers. Same with my golf cart. It has, they can tell me my grandson who's 3 can't drive it, but they can't keep me off the road.
Yeah, I fully agree with you on all of that. And it's been, it boils down to the cabin owners, as far as the association, for their own, take care of their own situation and read the rules and rights. But the campers then come out, and that's our other big, and pre-education would possibly help with them.
And like I said, maybe even just an effort between the parks and the association in the spring, especially with the new year coming up. Hey, as a team, Memorial Day weekend, we're going to really be vigilant about being out there and seeing and seeing people. You see, I mean, I've seen all the things, right? I mean, one time I saw a golf cart with a kid no older than 12, and there were 7 kids on it, right? I mean, sitting on the seats, hanging everything, and just all those things, right? And they're kids and they're having fun, but at the same time, I get it with Corey too, right? I have a side-by-side. I drive it in town. It's my summertime vehicle. It's licensed. I'm a licensed driver. I can do that. And same thing at Blacktail, right? Like, if you're on the road, it's public road. And if it's licensed. Now, if it's a licensed driver, that's another thing, right? Because we have a lot of unlicensed drivers that are out there. That's the one other element that and that's kids, right? And yes, I'm worried about them tearing stuff up, but I'm also worried about them getting hurt.
And I agree. I'm not advocating to make it a free-for-all, but we've also got to be careful of what rules we decide to make, besides the fact that it is a public road.
Yep.
And pretty soon, you can't drive a gray 3/4 ton pickup. And that's because it's mine and I've been banned. I mean, it could happen.
I think education and signage and to start with, right? And then just everyone doing their part between the association and parks, making sure that the campers that come out, they know, hey, come on, can't be off the road, can't be off the roads, don't have 10-year-olds driving your side-by-sides.
Didn't we talk about doing something as a little bit of an off-road course for people to drive on?
To a piece of land to the west, we have identified as like, that would be where we move that over to, just to the west.
We already have the liability.
Well, and maybe that needs to be. I mean, I feel bad, and it's the same thing we had on County 9. And you guys remember all the trouble we had there, people going down the ditches. But it's hard to, okay, you can't ride this. Well, they should be able to ride it somewhere. And if there's an alternative, it makes it a lot easier to be able to say, no, you can't go screaming through the golf course. But right over here, we've got, 40 acres that you can ride around.
And again, if you could possibly sit down with the four-wheeler association, whatever we have something in Williston. I don't know what it is. They might be able to actually help construct a course or a riding, a path out there instead of just a free for all on 40 acres.
I think there is an ATV club, and it's pretty closely, I think, linked with the snowmobile club. Yep. Yeah. So yeah, we can definitely talk to them.
And we do have a new owner out at Blacktail from, is it Epic or what is it?
Octane
Sports.
Sports.
Brad
Yep.
Patton, so.
Yeah. So anyways, kind of the direction we're going there. I think we all kind of feel on the same page there.
Okay. Item F, master plan implementation update.
Okay, I'll just go through real quick. We touched on it a little bit earlier, but I'll go through real quick. Again, Lookout Park. We got one secure box to put the irrigation system in. Otherwise, Lookout Park's done. Coteray Dam. Like I mentioned, we have some erosion issues. That heavy rain in this summer, we were hoping to grow grass and just kept washing it out. And now we got an issue with the road, and we're working through that. Other than that, a couple of minor checklist items, replacing a few trees, couple other little things, and Coteray Dam will be done. Blacktail Dam, the weather has been really, really fortunate for us. They've been able to get a lot done. The goal was hopefully to get the main campground paved, or to get the main campground paved and get started on the group campsite. There's no question we're going to get all of that paved, all that done. The main campground, all of that. The only thing we anticipate having for the spring there is landscaping, grass and trees. Everything else we feel like pretty good that we're gonna get all that done. Trails are looking awesome. Look really good. And they've got, I think they're probably 95% done with those. So that's been going really well. Little Egypt, Epping, Springbrook, and McGregor Dam are all in the planning phases, and we're moving quickly planning. I expect that in the next couple of meetings, you guys will see some concepts for all of those. And then with the goal of starting Epping, Springbrook Dam and potentially McGregor next year, and then starting Little Egypt in 27. With everything wrapping up, depending on how construction season 27 goes, everything either wrapping up in 27 or the spring of 28, if we have to just finish up there. And then in the next, I don't know if it'll be next month. I hope so. If not, for sure December, we'll come back with where we're sitting with the potential community building at Blacktail Dam. And then, as I mentioned before, right now we're tracking about 32 million and some change, with our total budget being 35. I still think there's some opportunities, some grant opportunities out there for us to get some money. And then also, I believe there could be some opportunities to save a little money. We still have a pretty big number on Little Egypt and a pretty big number on McGregor. Just got to decide what we want to do there, how much we want to invest, and but feeling pretty good. Like I said, right now we're tracking to come in at about like 32.5 million, save 2.5 million under budget. So I'd like to try to grow that just a little bit more, but we'll keep plugging along. I think that's all I have for the update, master plan update, unless anybody has any questions.
Do you have the opportunity to talk to Blacktail Dam Township or Blacktail Township, and do they have the ability to possibly apply for a grant for a meeting hall to assist in this building?
I'm not sure. I will talk to David. I'll talk to David and find out.
Okay. Next meeting, November 18th.
Parks update real quick.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep, just a couple things. We do have Brad mentioned it to me, and actually I got a phone call last week from a resident out there that we have a beaver problem at Blacktail. I called the state trapper last week and he didn't answer. Our trapper, he actually works for the federal government. I was assuming he wasn't working, but when Brad mentioned it to me again today, I texted him and he did reply. He said he was on vacation last week and he is working. He is able to work. So I told him what my understanding is that right now it's, I talked to John Cook and he's on the north part of the lake. He's lost a few trees. I think that's the main area we're looking at, unless you know something else.
Signer, 2 doors down from me, lost a tree.
Signer?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. So he did get a hold of me and said that he's still able to work. So I told him where it is. So he's usually been pretty good about getting up there and getting that done.
I'll work that as best I can this week.
Yep. Yeah. So
we do have a resident out there who stole or destroyed the trap. So we may have to have a come to Jesus with that resident.
Yeah, they had. What happened was not the last time he came out, but the time before, all of his traps were either missing or set, or or had been released, or he had his traps stolen, and he didn't, and
That's how
he
the
said,
come
"I'm
to
leaving."
Jesus comes to Jesus.
So then he did. That was, I think, 2 summers ago, and then earlier this year he did go up there for a bit in the spring, and then sounds like he's gonna go back there now. But he has had traps stolen out there. Oh my God. Otherwise, as far as the parks go, you know what, we have had a decent amount of hunters coming in. Not a lot, 2 or 3 campers at a time at Coda Ray, 2 or 3 campers at Blacktail. Just through this hunting season. All our water is turned off. All our lines are blown out. So that's going to dwindle down here too. I can see us maybe having a couple people this weekend, and then we'll probably be pretty much done. But did have a good number of people come through hunting, and it's nice because almost always it's people from out of state, and usually a ways out of state that come and camp there. I mean, we got, and it's always a lot of times the same people. We got group people come from Washington. We got group people come from Michigan. We got group people that come from Idaho, and it's the same guys since I've been here. So they keep coming, but kind of winding down now. Otherwise, I think that's all I got for parks update.
Okay, thank you. Any questions? All right, next meeting November 18th. Nobody else has anything for the good of the order. I guess we will adjourn 9:23.
Thanks, guys.